Welcome to Take 5 at the Top 50, the video interview series with Atlantic Business Magazine's Top 50 CEOs. Each episode, we ask 5 questions to find out what makes these award-winning leaders tick. I'm Shane Snow, a New Brunswick-based partner with presenting sponsor Grant Thornton. In this episode, I'm talking to Phillip Curley, CEO of Hotspot Parking, Inc. Phillip started Hotspot when he was just 21. Today, it's a national leader in mobile transportation solutions with a goal to have 100 government clients across the country by the end of 2021. From its Fredericton headquarters, Hotspot's staff of 20 supports thousands of users across the country. Thanks for joining me, Phil. Let's get started. A lot of people say they like to own their own business, but are held back because they don't have the right idea or access to financing. When did you decide you wanted to be an entrepreneur, and how were you able to launch Hotspot at such a young age?
Yeah, sure. So when I was younger, I was in university for engineering at UPI. I ended up going, you couldn't finish at UPI at the time. You had to go to another university to complete the required labs to become an engineer. So I went to UNB for their technology and entrepreneurship program. I had always wanted to be in entrepreneurship as a young person because my family had run like a fruit and vegetable stand, like really, like buying apples for $1, selling them for $1.25. Like that was kind of how we grew up. And I knew that, there were some bigger businesses around and there were different ways to do things. And I wanted to learn about that. So I, at a young age, wanted to learn as much as I could about that. UNB had a great program. I ended up not finishing my last year. I actually had the same issues, no money. And I wanted to start a business though. So luckily I dropped out as soon as my student loan was approved. And I used my student loan to basically buy the stickers that were required in the city of Fredericton to put the stickers on the meters, and just kept going from there.
And then what about financing? How did you get access to the financing that you needed to get the business off the ground?
So like I said early on, like bootstrapping is very real. Like people, there is money out there. You can get people that are willing to invest in people with ideas, people that have something going on. The best way to get investment is to have an exciting business that's doing well. So I needed to build an exciting business that was doing well, and I didn't have that, but I did have my student loan that I was supposed to use for UNB. But I used it, and I actually, started working with the city of Fredericton. I bought the stickers, got some people signed up for the application. They saw it was going good, and then over time, met some local business people here in Fredericton. Raised a little bit of money, a lot of money to me back then, but a little bit of money to kind of grow a team, grow the business, and expand from there. But it's very much like chicken and the egg, right? You want to get a little bit of money to do a little bit more, but in order to do that, they want to see that you've done a little bit more before they give you the money. So it's really about, not looking for the best deal necessarily, but looking for a good enough deal to get moving forward.
So the next question I have is, mobile parking and transportation apps aren't new. Large and urban centers like Toronto and New York have had them for quite some time now. What makes Hotspot different?
Yeah, sure. So what we did at Hotspot was we were based in Fredericton, which, most people would say is a disadvantage, but it was really an advantage for us. And we recognized that what the bigger cities were doing was very different from what the medium and mid-size and smaller cities needed. So like a city like Toronto, millions of people, needed a very different solution than what the city of Fredericton or another Atlantic Canadian city was looking for. So we went down that path of building basically a product that was for an underserviced market. And we've been really vindicated in that approach, as there are many mid-sized cities that are looking for a complete solution for transportation. They're looking for a single vendor approach. They want to be able to do everything with one group and keep everything centralized, but open enough so that they can add in new technologies and integrations. And that's what we've done, is really provided mid-sized cities a comprehensive solution.
So, outmigration of young talent is a perennial issue in Atlantic Canada. Why did you choose to stay here and not move to a larger city where there might be potentially more opportunities?
Um, so Fredericton was a large city to me. I came from
Mhm.
Summerside. It's like a fourth the size of uh, Fredericton. So it was a big city to me. But why I chose to stay was very much like grassroots people in the communities that had been in business that said, look, you could go get a job, you could make, whatever you're going to make having a job, or we could give you a little bit of money and you could take a bit of a salary cut. And, some years I didn't get paid. And you could give this thing a try. And that foresight by, real people in the community, like real people saying, hey, look, I'm willing to risk a little bit of money here, a little bit to them in their age, a lot to me as a young person. I'm willing to take that risk, and you go ahead and see if you can build something that's meaningful and helps people. And that now has really, I believe, taken over as an approach. I have had some conversations with COA, and I know that they're just looking to get people started. Because once you get started, get a little bit established, it's real easy to stay. Because the benefits of staying versus moving at that point are massive. But you need to support people in the short term so that they can get a start, if that makes sense. And
So you said that you want to build Hotspot into the best single transportation solution for small, medium-sized cities in North America. What will it take for it to get there?
um, So transportation, parking, what we do with transit, taxis, it is 100% a reputation game. Cities are not in a rush to make mistakes. They want to work with people that are proven in the market. They want to see innovation working in other markets before they adopt it themselves. And you can't blame them because as you get larger and larger, we deal with cities over past 500,000 people, all the way down to cities of 5,000 people. And the innovation is happening in these small communities. What's really required for us at Hotspot to continue to grow our business is to not lose track that the mid-size and smaller cities allow us to innovate and move that innovation up market. We're doing some really cool stuff in the city of Jasper, or well, the municipality of Jasper. It's not even a city, that's how small it is, where they've gone completely digital, and introduced only digital ways to park in a community of 5,000 people, which has a lot of older residents. And the approach and way that we were able to work with that city will scale up, and bigger cities will take notice of that and follow that playbook. But it's crucial for us to work in the mid-sized markets, continue to innovate, because the future's coming, but it's not going to come to the big cities first. It's going to come to the mid-sized ones. They're going to test it, and then the bigger ones will adopt it once it's proven.
So the last question I have here, Phil, is thinking about the pandemic's impact on your company. You've described it as it being the best of years and the worst of years. What does that
Read
mean?
my blog.
What does that mean exactly from a cash flow, employee, and customer perspective?
The pandemic was tough for everyone in the transportation industry, and anyone who says otherwise is lying. But what it proved was that you always know in the industry, that you have to listen to your customer and you have to take care of them. And you see some flashy press releases and stuff like that, and you wonder if everybody's doing it. But what it showed us is that we are doing a good job of taking care of our customers, and they trust us. And they hurt just as much as anyone else when the pandemic came, right? No one's parking, no one's taking transit rides. And they were super fair to us, and we were there for them. We were having issues too, but we were there, and they saw that, and they said, look, this is as tough as it can get. Some parking facilities went to zero revenue, right? But we were there, and the customer service didn't lapse, and we found ways to deliver solutions that would help them get where they needed to go and get through it. And that really, that makes me a little bit emotional in that, we were able to do that in a really tough time. because, you know, when things are good, it's easy to be good. But when things are bad and you're still able to, you know, be performing at a good level and delivering what the customers are looking for, you know, that a little bit of pride in the team, but more so just, you know, that's the type of company we want to build here. We want you guys to be able to depend on us when stuff hits the wall.